it's not Samson.
There with the backpack.
Yeah, just calm down, Deb. There's no way they can see in. Just hold on. There's two little boys. Just
Guys, we're taking a big risk hanging around here too long.
Is it Tavita? It's Tavita!
just stay calm and keep the wheels
If only
down.
he knew I was in here.
Why don't we just get out of here?
Tavita!
Damn it.
Go.
Let's move.
Are they still looking?
Yeah, they're going.
I can't believe that was Tavita! He's so gorgeous! He's like...
We are not talking about the child, we are talking about my son. No, well, I have a conversation for half an hour ago with the people at front. Well, there is something quite complicated.
Yes,
The brother, he have a personal protection.
her brother.
Yes, yeah, her brother.
Yes.
And he is living behind the barbed wires and 4 meter high walls.
Yeah.
And
There's 4 metre high walls in the barbed wire there.
Yeah.
Around
plus this man, which is also a driver.
Yes.
And he always have a gun with him.
Yes.
If they take down my son to the beach, this man is often standing behind his car for trouble.
Retrieving an abducted child is never easy, but Turi Shalander's case is proving more difficult than most for myself and American associate Logan Clark. Turi is Swedish, but while living in Australia met and married Maria, a Filipino working in Sydney. They had a son, Matu, who holds both Australian and Swedish passports. In 5 years together, Maria tried to kidnap Matu twice, but was caught before leaving Australia. Each time they were reconciled. In 1993, on a visit to relatives in Sweden, Maria escaped with the boy to the Philippines. She was aided by her wealthy and powerful family, who are devout charismatic Catholics. Matu was apparently taken to ensure his religious upbringing. Turi has been awarded sole custody by Australian and Swedish courts, but the courts can't bring Matu back. Logan, it's Keith.
Well, how's things going over there?
I've just spoken with Turi. He's getting worried.
Well, I mean, as you know, I was over there and I checked it out.
Yes. Did you you didn't actually see the child, did you?
No, I didn't see the child. I didn't want to try to break security in order
Yes.
to see the child.
You did see the home where Matu is?
Yes, the boy's being held in Parañaque, an area in Parañaque, but it's a very, in Quezon City.
Yes.
It's a very, very wealthy area.
Yes.
There's six to 8 foot walls wrapped around.
Barbed wire.
Yeah, barbed wire, and they have guys guarding the place that look like they picked their teeth with the wire. Very seriously, the security is so intense. So our best bet is to draw them out. Even still, if we go to the airport, we can still do it because there's warrants out for this woman. I mean, as long as she is arrested, in any country, if she is held and arrested, then automatically custody goes to the father.
I don't even know if my son is alive. I don't know if he's alive because I have no physical evidence. I don't really know. There is a total lack of information and no sign, no letters, nothing at all. So it's obvious that they are trying to erase me from his memory in total, and I wonder why. I'm not a war criminal. I'm not a pedophile. I'm a good person. He is in my memory every day, every minute, every second of my life. I spend thinking about him.
You can become obsessed with these cases and find yourself working around the clock. In my experience, the prime motivation for stealing a child is revenge against the other parent. In almost every case, the children's welfare is ignored. They're usually taken to a strange country and forced into a lifestyle very different from the one they're used to.
Yes, hello. Yeah, just the reason I asked you to call me back was on this Shalanda case in the Philippines. One thing of interest I noticed was that the client has a sister in Sydney. She would be one person who would know exactly where the child could be located and contacted. And as a matter of fact, I think she's a person who used to redirect mail through from Australia to the Philippines or the United States.
The Acevedo family, all of the relatives, have continually denied that they have any involvement. They don't know where the mother is. They don't know where the child is. So what we have done is we have literally stolen the trash every single week in 3 different countries, simultaneously in 3 different countries from 5 different homes.
This is called garbology. For those of you that don't know, the study of trash. And it will tell you everything about a person that you want to know or never really wanted to know at all. Some things you wish you didn't know.
Inside, we found shredded documents. We found letters where the return address was torn off, and it shows a clear, absolute link between every one of these people and a conspiracy to hide this woman and this child throughout the world, beyond a shadow of a doubt.
They're talking about here, it says, I don't think you can really trust anyone outside of your relatives in this matter. A recent news item about a similar matter told of how the parent was tricked to come out into the open. Now, why would they tear off the return address unless she was there? And why are they shredding everything?
There's no question that there is a direct link to the family relatives throughout the world to the actual kidnapping, hiding of Mattu. It's a hell of a conspiracy.
Oh, can I speak to Maria, please? Yeah, it's Kevin. What time would she be in?
The time she gets home varies, but usually fairly soon.
I'll give her a call later on. She'll be home in, what, about 5 or 10 minutes or something like that?
Yeah, give it 15 or 20 and then try again then. I think it's probably best, you know.
Thanks a lot. Bye.
This is from the NBI, okay? This goes into detail of them saying, basically, we can't do anything, okay? She hasn't broken any laws, she's kidnapped the child, she's come here, and we can't do anything about it. However, they do tell us that we found the address. This is an address that has not even come up. This is a brand new residence that they supposedly went to, knocked on the door, and asked her to come out. And voluntarily asked her to come out, I guess, and give up the child, and she refused to. They're saying that they can't do anything. They can't force her. This is the National Bureau of Investigation. Here's a man who's got his entire government behind him, and 3 other governments supposedly saying, we're gonna get this woman. All they're looking for is one woman and one child, and we can't find them.
No one is thinking about the children's right to have access to both their parents. It's often a very silly aspect that one is a loser and one is a winner. And that's totally wrong. There's only one big loser, and that's the child. For the moment, I'm totally paralyzed. I cannot work with practice my art or anything like that.
Right. Part of our problem in the Shalanda operation is that neither the law nor the Australian or Swedish governments have the teeth to compel the Philippines to hand over the child. The system is letting parents down. Child abduction is a crime on the rise and will continue to be so until severe penalties are introduced. Many nations don't recognise the Hague Convention on International Child Abduction, which guarantees children will be returned to their home country, where the courts can settle the custody dispute.
But I'm sure that, I don't want to build your hopes up too high, but we must have some hope that you're going to be back together with Mattu.
The United States and some European countries have recognised the Hague Convention and now have tough parental kidnapping laws in place, so the rights of the children involved become the priority. In 25 years as an investigator, I've seen enormous sadness in family breakdowns, but there's also great satisfaction when a retrieval is successful.
Tears and flowers last night as 7-year-old Adrian Wawrinski welcomed his sister home. Friends and family swamped Jessica and her mother, safe on Australian soil after a daring escape from Eastern Europe.
You just can't imagine. I wanted them so much for Christmas, and I have them together now. I can't believe it, but I have them. And thanks to Keith, we've done a good job.
In contrast, retrieval of Deborah Buehler's 2 children from a Fijian village should be fairly straightforward, what we call a soft recovery. The children were raised in Australia, but Deborah had a number of problems following her marriage breakup. 2 years ago, she was persuaded to let them visit their Fijian father while she got her life in order. Now, it's a case of blackmail. He refuses to let them return unless she agrees to sponsor his migration to Australia.
We were both Christians at that time, and when I married him, my vows to me were sacred, and I just felt that it was my duty to be a good wife and a good mother. Even though, like a lot of people around me said to me, Debbie, I don't know how you stay with Enoch, but I did. I stayed with him, I raised the children, I worked. But it just came to a stage where I knew that even God knew that I'd had enough, and I felt that I could walk away from the marriage. Anyway, I told him that I was leaving and that I was taking the boys. So I lost my respect and my trust in him, and that was where the problems began.
What we're planning is to take Deborah into Fiji, snatch the 2 boys literally off the street, and be out of the country before the father is any the wiser.
So then it just I just knew
So he was working
exactly.
on motivating you into getting him back here to Australia because of the children being Australian citizens.
Well, he thought that if he had the children
Yes.
as Australian citizens, that they could get him back. And I turned around and I said, Enoch, I won't tell you what I said, but I said, for these children to sponsor you into the country, they have to have jobs, they have to have a secure income. I mean, we're talking about a 5-year-old and a 7-year-old child here, you know. But then I knew exactly why he wanted the kids over there. It wasn't for any other reason than for himself to get to Australia.
Yeah, with the children attending school in the village, do they get delivered to school or do they walk to school?
No, they would walk
Yes,
with other children.
And how far would it be from their living quarters to the school?
I'm not sure.
Not sure. No,
I'm
no.
not sure. Because they're on a Catholic mission,
Yes.
like that's in the village.
Yes.
So.
Now, Enoch, your ex-husband,
He's
what
away.
does he do during the daytime?
Well, I've just heard that he's driving like a courier van.
Yes,
They
so
just
he can be
wait.
tied up most of the day on his
yes.
courier run.
Oh
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
easily.
Yeah,
Easily.
that's great.
Yeah.
So it's got to be in the strictest of confidence. Speak to no one until we really need to, and when we need assistance. When we get into Fiji, we'll feel our way around for a day or two and just have a look at it. Secrecy is to the extreme. I always tell my client, and in both cases with Turi and with Deborah, that they must not tell anyone, even their closest friend, because one little whisper out to someone who knows someone can create a snowballing effect, and it can put us in more danger or, in fact, cause the failure of a retrieval. The children's passports are current?
Yes.
They have the entry into Fiji on those passports?
Yes. I'm not worried at all about how Keith is going to get them out of the village because I know that he'll do it, that it'll only be a matter of about 5 or 10 minutes between the actual taking of the children to when they see me. So it's not going to be very traumatic for them at all. And I just believe God that he'll prepare them for that.
I don't see any problems with immigration because he hasn't applied for full custody there as far as we know, so there's not going to be any alert, and he wouldn't be able to stop them from leaving unless he had full custody. And I'm pretty sure I've made some inquiries in relation to their domestic or matrimonial laws there, and he can't get any stop at the airport or through immigration without a custody order and a court order, so he probably wouldn't have done that. He would have had to have notified you, I guess.
So how will that affect me, like bringing them back here if he's got joint custody over there?
No problem at all.
No problem
at all. He can't stop them from leaving. We can take them out, and then it's up to him to come back here to try and get them. But what you'd need to do when you get back here is probably apply for a full custody order, because he's tried to keep the children, hold the children from you. I'm pretty sure through the courts here you'll be able to get a sole custody. Planning a rescue can play havoc with a client's emotions. You never really know what they're thinking or what they'll do in a crisis. Having a calm and focused parent to take control of their child at the moment of retrieval cuts the trauma immediately. But things can go wrong. Enough to tip the parent over the edge, as happened in Yemen last year. When the rescue of the 2 young children failed, the mother attempted suicide.
Sarah, don't do any, please. Sarah, I'll figure something out. I promise you. Sarah, listen to me. I promise you. I promise you, I'll figure something out. Sarah. Sarah, listen to me. Listen.
Nobody cares. Nobody cares about him. I can't. It's good for me.
We do. That's why we're here. But we can't get. You don't want to. What if you get killed? What if they get killed?
In my heart, I knew that I'd see them again, But I knew that my situation had to really drastically change for that to happen, and I didn't know how that was going to happen because I really didn't have any support from anybody here. I don't know, I just thought, what's the use, you know? I had one more phone call with Tavita, and he was okay on the last phone call because he knew that I was coming. And I said to him, Tavita, you know Mummy's coming, don't you? And he said to me, he said, but Mummy, he said, these people here, they told me that you're a liar because you're not coming to get me. Because you just say that, but you're not coming to get me. And I said to him, I said to Vida, I said, you know that I'm going to come and get you. I said, but I need you to believe with me. I need you, when you're praying for Mummy at night, I said, you pray for Mummy to get a really good job so that I can do that, you know.
We landed at Nandi Airport at 11 p.m. and drove through the night to a village 30 kilometres south of Suva. We hoped to sight the boys on their way to school, but it didn't quite work out that way.
Well, see, if they start school at 8, they're not going to come out of their house until like 5 to 8.
Yeah.
Very last minute till
That house right there?
Yeah, if that's where they're staying, yeah.
There's two boys, they'll be coming across from the back of this building shortly, and they are much lighter colour than the other children here. Can you see them yet, Dan?
I see one.
I can see them.
Yep. Several.
They're probably a little bit too old.
Yeah.
It looks like him walking over there. And look at his hair. It is. I'm sure that's it.
You're not 100% sure, but you think it is?
I'm pretty sure. But what I'm thinking is, if Tavita's not with him, maybe those people were lying to me in Suva, and Tavita's still in Suva at that house at Raver Street.
Mm-hmm.
Because I rang them.
Why don't we just get out of here?
Yeah. No.
So what we have to do is to try and confirm where the children are living, and I think the only way of confirming that is if I go along to Enoch,
schmooze around, get the feel of it.
Yeah.
You know.
See, I don't need to go with you guys. I mean, you
not now,
you can
not
go
now.
Oh, no,
with
not
the
down
there.
crew, you know.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
Yeah,
that's
the
it.
only time you need to be there is when we pick up the children.
And see, that way we don't have to keep you separated from
No,
the film crew or anything.
exactly.
If they see the film crew, it's going to be
They
totally
know.
natural.
Yeah.
It's a very disarming
Yeah.
tool.
And see, if he is so. See, this is the difference between. There's a religious person and a Christian person. In the world, it's an ambitious person and a person who has an inspiration to reach a goal. And I think you know your job.
Yes.
I know Enoch. I know the way he thinks, and I know that I just have no doubts that everything is just going to run smoothly because that's what God's promised me.
I decided to go into the village the next morning. It was important to make a positive ID of the children and to establish our cover.
I've got all the information we want. I know where the child lives. I know where he goes to school. There's some old shack down there, no doors and no windows, and that's where the kids live. And I know the path they walk. No doors that even close. No windows. Just holes in the wall.
I love it.
Painted a nice blue.
I love it. I love it. Did he like it?
He loved me.
He did. Did you give him some money?
Yeah.
Oh, good. All right.
He thinks he's a millionaire. Okay.
What'd you tell him?
I told him I was here and that Deb works for us in Australia, that she's doing PR work, and she sent some money over. But the one little thing I'm concerned about is there's a relative or a friend of her parents arriving here tomorrow afternoon at 4 o'clock.
And does that person...
He's got some toys or some presents for the kids.
Does that person know she's here? You. Hello.
What would you like first, the good news or the bad news?
The bad news.
Well,
It's not bad, it's just a challenge.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, the good news is there's no real bad news.
Oh, good.
Someone said you had made some phone calls this morning, made some contact with people.
No, I haven't.
Because I thought if you did, I'd be disappointed, if
No.
I'm out there, Deb. All right, well, what happened?
I have talked to people. I have talked
good.
to
Yeah,
someone
good.
I know, but
Yeah.
I haven't spoken to anyone.
No, well, don't get anyone else to do anything here, because from my 25 minutes up there, I went over there to the priest and asked him for Enoch, but Enoch, he didn't know him. So he said, I'll come over to the school and I'll find out. So we went to the teacher there and she said, oh, Samson and Tabitha are in my class. She said, do you want Samson to show you where his father lives?
Yes.
So as soon as I got Samson in the car, I turned the tape recorder on. It's the next village over the bridge. Enoch was there. You know, when we went up this morning, we saw that 2 children walking across that footbridge.
Yeah.
That's where he walks across the school and then goes in another path.
Yep.
So
Right across that bridge.
It's God!
Yeah, he drives a truck. I gave him $100 and
Yeah.
he thinks I'm...
I told you!
He's in heaven. He's in heaven. He is. Yeah.
Yes.
He thinks I'm
He's
Jesus.
rich.
Yeah, I told
Oh,
you.
and he also said about the movie, if I can do anything.
He wants to
I
help
told
in
you.
this. He's an opportunist.
I told you
Yeah.
that. I
Yeah.
told you that.
Yeah, want to have a listen to it?
Yeah. Yes.
Holiday tomorrow, I think, isn't it? It's a holiday tomorrow. There's no school. Yeah. So no school tomorrow. He's a friendly little fellow, a lovely kid. Yeah.
He's so good-hearted and
Can see where he's had a
sensitive.
few little boils and that on his legs.
Yeah, but he looks really good.
Looks good. Yeah. I think so. All right. So that's the blue one there over there. It's the blue house with no windows or doors. There's just holes with the windows and doors.
That's where he's got them living.
Yeah.
That's great. No doors, no windows.
That's another man's car.
How was Tabitha?
Tabitha was in the class. Yeah.
Hello. I just went down to the school. I come from Australia.
What getting close does is unbelievable. The minute you can get in.
How are you? My name's Keith. I just come from Australia yesterday. I'm with a film company, and Deb does some work for us there in Australia. She's in Brisbane, and she said call in and see you. She gave me a cheque to give you some money, but it's up at my hotel.
But let me tell you one thing, does concern me a little. There's a friend of your parents arriving tomorrow afternoon about 4 o'clock, and they've got some presents for the kids.
Do you know who that is?
What?
He didn't know the name. He couldn't remember the name.
Do you
He
know?
said,
Do any of your relatives look
I can find out like that. I
Okay,
can
but
find
you
out.
can, honey, seriously,
Yeah.
have you told any of your relatives what you're doing? Here.
I did, but then I rang her back and told her that I wasn't going ahead with it.
this was her mother who
That
was
was my
going to
mum,
split.
because I
Okay.
because
What
I
about,
needed. I
okay.
needed
What about
money.
the other relative you're talking about? They're talking about his flying in here.
What?
What
no.
you're doing?
No,
Is there no
see,
reason?
the only way they would know is if. Remember, I said to you if Mum had rung Illy and
Yeah.
Illy'd said no, she's gone to Fiji.
It's absolutely
The
unbelievable.
last thing I want as a client, when I'm working for them, is that they're going to start making their own inquiries.
I know.
Now, if he gets to know that she's here, she doesn't need to blame us.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right. It's
because-
a call.
yeah.
She called the shot. It's a shot that she
yeah,
called.
yeah.
And when I walked down there, he was or that woman. She was already talking to the woman.
Yeah.
She'd already told her everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I was in the situation of, okay, you've made this decision. You bet.
Yeah.
You know, we have to live with it now. Coming out there. See him over there with the backpack.
You just calm down, Deb. There's no way they can see you. Deb, just hold on. There's 2 little boys.
Four. Yeah, that's Samson and Tabitha.
Which is Tabitha?
Hang on. Tabitha's the one with his shirt undone, I think, at the back.
Are you positive? Can you be really sure that's Tabitha?
No, that's not Tabitha. That's Samson. He's looking at. He can see the camera, I think.
Guys, we're taking a big risk hanging around here too long.
Damn it.
Is that Tabitha? It's Tabitha!
Just stay calm and keep the noise
I
down.
never knew I was in here. Tabitha!
Damn it, those kids are coming back from the village. Come on, let's go, let's move.
Go. Are they still looking?
Yes. They're gone.
Excellent.
I can't believe that was Tavita. He's so gorgeous. He's like...
Huh? In the last room?
It was standing next to Samson. I didn't even realize it was him. He was standing right there.
I see them coming back from the village with other friends. In other words, they were going to the village and telling them to come. It's such a big deal.
Yeah,
you know, that's when I wanted out of there.
I see the outline of a finger in here, but they...
Yeah, because one of the little kids was pointing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had to be sure that Deborah had not blown the cover, so I went back into the village and made contact once more with the father. This time I took a video camera. He suspected nothing.
And village life is so peaceful. A lot of kids, a lot of, that's why Samson and David, they are quite happy here in the village. Playing with other kids.
Anyway, come and stand by me. That's it. One on each side, eh? There you are. Can see us through there?
Yes.
See my head too?
Yep.
There we are. Now I can see us all.
Yeah.
You're a lovely little fella.
So here's something to say, Samson.
What? I love you, Mommy. I miss you, Mommy.
Do you love Mummy and Miss Mummy too?
Yeah.
Hey? Yeah. Wave to Mummy. The children come out and they walk across the little bridge. The entrance to the village is up here, and there's a slight bend in the road.
Right.
So the mum's going to be in the car up here. Now, she's going to be able to see where I am. So as when I pick the children up, I'll drive off. We won't go back here to Nandi.
Okay.
We'll head back down here to Suva. There's a very tight left-hand bend on the road. Goes around like that. If the van with the mum in comes up and parks right beside it, the van door can open for a change of cars. The children can get out of this side and step right in. Now, even if there was someone over the road, they wouldn't be able to see what we're doing there, apart from parking beside each other. And that switchover will take 15 seconds, 20 seconds maybe.
And there are no phones in the villages?
There's no telephones in the village. If he has to go to a telephone, he's got to go some distance.
I just see that the minute we see each other, I just know it's just going to be so wonderful. It's just, I know that as soon as they see me, that for them too, they're going to feel like there's hope.
A lot of things happen in my career, Keith. This is a first.
It's unbelievable. So she's walked out on us.
Completely.
Walked out 2 hours before we were to go out.
Yeah, the guy said that she let you know we got that was going inside of her room.
Yeah. God. I tried to ring her room this morning. The telephone was obviously off the hook.
She took it off the hook.
It was engaged.
She left at 5:30
Yeah.
with that guy. And this was left inside of her room, and they carried the luggage out.
She doesn't deserve those children.
Maybe it's a good thing. Maybe it's a good thing we didn't give them back to her.
2 a.m. she decided she was going and left at 5:30.
She leaves this. She didn't,
she
didn't have
she
the
leaves
balls
a note.
to talk to us. God. Even.
I'm just dumbfounded.
I'm a lot more than dumbfounded. I'm pissed.
But there was more to come. Deborah turned up on the flight back to Australia. She refused to speak to us and took off like a startled rabbit.
Deborah! Deborah!
Let's go. This way. This way. Oh, okay. This way.
Deb, don't you think we should have a talk?
No, I don't. I've got nothing. No, I've got nothing to say
Deb,
to you. Just leave me alone.
You walked out on 2 kids that have been living in a
No.
dog's kennel for years.
No, you're just trying to use me. That's all.
I'm sorry.
Julian, get your father. Julian, come here.
I got more to do than go halfway around the world for some woman who's going to walk out at the last minute. And just be quiet.
Did you know what? Because if I brought my children back into this country, I would have been had up for abduction. You know, if those films go to air between the two countries, because I didn't know what they were doing. I only found out last night what they were really doing, and that's why this morning I took off. I went to see my husband. I got my husband to hide the children. I haven't been in bed with anybody. It's bullshit. They're trying to set me up.
He's a guy who tried to help him. From where? From Brisbane. Well, he's tried to talk sense into him. From No. She organised me to be waiting here, I guess. And he's wanting to know where the children are. He's been a good friend of hers, a good supporter. And now he's getting into it. He's getting into it for nothing. Backing out.
I can't count the times that the clients have gotten crazy. You know, at the point, I'm right at the point, like we were talking about the eve before, and they get very crazy or they get, you know, very upset. But usually the love for the child and wanting those children back takes over everything. That's what takes control. You know, not the schizophrenia. You know, just the true love of getting the children back. I didn't suspect anything when the panic set in. I mean, as she started to sort of flip-flop back and forth, that's normal, don't you think? I mean, when you see a client, they get real scared.
When she knew that she was going to have those children, that's when she backed down.
Yeah, she knew. She knew at a point that she had to say to herself, my God, these two men are going to get my children back, and they're going to come back here. I'm going to be responsible for them. I'm going to have to be a responsible mother and take care of them, etc. I think she freaked.
The Harley is my escape hatch. Once, after a particularly difficult rescue, I was so wound up that I rode 5 hours in one direction before turning for home. After Fiji, I hit the road.
They're letting religion override the well-being of the children. You know,
I've seen it again and again in each country. I mean, religious, all you have to do is have a religious cult.
That's correct.
And just like David Koresh or the one that just happened in Switzerland.
Yeah.
They don't. As long as you call yourself a religious cult, it seems to supersede and override all of the laws.
Yeah. What sort of Christians are they anyway? All right, Cherry. Well, that's great, and I'll give you a call later on again, and we'll discuss it further as it gets a little bit closer, and after I speak to Logan again.
Yeah, thanks for that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, keep the confidence up, keep your chin up, and keep smiling if you can, Cherry.
Yeah, I'll try.
You cannot imagine what happens if you have not experienced this situation. No one, I believe, can. One day you could be prepared to do anything, everything, to get Mathieu back.
If we did not do a military operation, if we just tried to do a grab and run, which would be impossible with the security they have anyway, but if it's not an official military operation, we will never get the cooperation in Hong Kong from Interpol and the Royal Hong Kong Police. The main reason that this thing is so difficult is because the Acevedo family, the money and the power they have, they're very interwoven with their connections with the military and with the police here. And they can pay off just about anybody that they want. That's why I want it to be an official military operation. It'll be done by the local authorities. The only thing that will not be done is we will not go through the normal chain of command. Three white guys can't sit in a car. If you're anywhere for longer than 3 to 5 minutes, somebody's going to be knocking at your door and that person's going to have an M16 in their hand. They have 10, 12 different homes. All of the situations are the same. All the barricades are the same. Now they're in Quezon City, just as rich and just as much of a fortress as in Manila, as in Rojas City. Everywhere they go, they make sure that they're inside of a compound. It's a fortress. It's a complete fortress. Armed guard opens up the gate, a black Mercedes comes out, black windows, completely black windows, and goes out. So you can't see who goes out. You can't, when it comes back, it goes at the gate, they honk the horn, the gate opens up, goes inside, shuts it. If we try to follow, or if we try to take a picture of the boy, it'll be just as dangerous as actually doing the grab itself. Taking the boy. Yeah, taking the boy itself.
It is going to happen, Turi. It's just, it's just coming together. It's just we're at the last moments now, okay? So just hang in there with us, and we'll get it done. And we'll see you in Sweden. We'll see you in Sweden with your boy.
Yeah. How would you arrange Hong Kong, Sweden? Do you know that?
It's being arranged right now with Interpol and the police, the Royal Hong Kong Police.
Oh, that's fine. Will it be before the end of the month?
I dearly hope so. I'm literally waiting daily now for a go signal, and then we'll go on 72-hour notice. Once we get the go signal, and we'll just be on notice for 72 hours, and it could happen any time.
Turi is really losing it. He really is. The whole thing bothers me that if we didn't have the mandate and all the orders that we have, all the arrest warrants and everything else, I mean, this woman reached in and tore out a piece of Turi's heart. So maybe that is the reason that he's going nuts. I mean, that's what we would do. But he's got to understand that we're it. We're his last hope. We're the only chance that he's got. We have to be as much or more clandestine than the bad guys. We have to be very careful being seen. If I'm seen with certain military intelligence people or by anyone who knows this family or any connection to this family, then they're going to think something is up. My whole plan was to have her arrested and moved around enough that the family would put all of their concentration on getting her out of jail, and then their concentration would go to getting Matsu. If she goes with us, and I try to explain to my contacts, all of the power and the attention of this family is going to be focused on one thing, us. And somebody's going to get a bullet in the head.
Immediately I think about it, it doesn't split them up. It keeps them together. There's a delay with her getting back to her relatives, a delay on leaving.
There's also the whole family's going to be looking at us. Everybody's going to be no diversion. They're going to look at us.
But that could be anything.
Oh, what?
Well, it doesn't separate the two, does it? It keeps them together, so we won't have a screaming child.
No, she's going to go ballistic, though.
Yeah, but the advantage is that they can't find her, and until they can find her, they'll be sitting by their telephone, waiting for calls. But until they can find her, we can be halfway to Sweden.
Oh, man. So it's the whole thing is just it's frustrating. We just have to really rely on them. They have the contacts. They're in a position where we've just got to leave it up to the intelligence. Well, tell them to give me a phone call. I've been waiting 2 hours. No bullshit. He told me that 2 hours ago. Yeah. No, he said he was in the parking lot 2 hours ago. It doesn't take 2 goddamn hours to walk across the street from Rustans to here. This is a photo that was given to one of our intelligence guys, our counterintelligence guys, and it was given by a hitman. There's 3 guys on the island of Panay, near Rojas City, where the Acevedo family lives. You can look at it and tell that it's obviously cut from a family photo. It's not in his photo album. It's not from anything. You can see the boy's arm around his neck. It was probably taken in the Philippines, and there's partial writing on the back. So somebody at the Acevedo house cut 3 pictures of Turi out, actual photographs. These aren't Xerox. They cut them out, gave them to 3 men, and were told if this man or anyone with him arrives on the island, to kill him. I got this 2 hours before I was supposed to land on the island. I got a phone call, do not land on this island or you'll be killed. So these people are very serious. What they're expecting is somebody to hit the house and raid the house, all right, with a warrant, with a search warrant, or whatever, legally or illegally. The bummer is that where they have moved now, they're not in one of their family mansions. They're now in the mansion of a friend of the family's who's even richer than they are. By being at this doctor's house that they're at, he has no connection whatsoever with anybody. So to get a search warrant for his house is damn near impossible. By the time we got the order to go into that house, they would be gone.
That's the area right down there.
Yeah, there you go, there you go. Right here, yeah. You getting that? If we can come down, if they're sitting in that Mercedes or their car with the blackened windows, and we bring down a military helicopter, literally right in front of the automobile, where they're sitting, and a guy in the helicopter has an AK-47 pointed right at the window, the front window of the car, all right? Now if you're and then guys start getting out of cars next to him with guns. I don't care how much firepower they have. If you're standing there and 6 guys are pointing a machine gun at you, are you going to draw your gun? Because you're dead. If one person fires a bullet, it'll be a massacre. And that's what I was afraid of in Panay, because in Panay they'll do it. They don't care if you're wearing a uniform. They don't give a rat's ass who you are. As you said, they're extremely paranoid. My God, they're nervous. I mean, they're ready to kill him, the client, and anybody who comes with him, and especially a white person. And the kid has no life. The kid doesn't go to school. He runs from house to house. Now he's not even in a house that's his. He's in somebody else's house. You know, he's living a life that's pure hell. So I just keep trying to justify it to myself.
Morally, we're both doing the right thing by that child.
I think so.
Bringing that child back to his father, and then they can go the proper avenues and sort it out, go through the courts, and have a decision made in the courts of Sweden.
Yeah. If we can just convince Turi to believe that and understand that and believe that we're doing, we are doing it for him, we are doing the right thing.
Does he have your telephone number here?
Oh God, no. No. He would call only because he would just call. He would call constantly, and I'm so afraid of him calling and messing something up out of curiosity. Like he'll call up and he'll listen, on the phone when he knows where Mattu is. He'll call up and just try to see if he hears his son in the background. And I understand that, and that breaks my heart. But it also makes them suspicious, and bang, they're gone to another house again.
No one considered the child in this situation. What has been done is so awful, it's so dreadful, it's madness.
She knows she's being hunted. She's really desperate. She's on the run. We've got people everywhere, but we never know who's corrupt and who's not. You know, until they say, okay, we're ready to do it, we're sitting and waiting.
I love you for that.
What?
I love you very much because I like you.
Thank you. I love you too.